Get us out of your ears, everyone! It's a tornado! Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast from Affable Idiots. Dallas is out here shooting up a storm because that's what you do when you live in America, because we have very few gun restrictions. We are a bunch of dudes going to talk about video games today. We got a lot of stuff. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Chad Michael Innes. We also have with us here the reproducible Holden DePardo.
I am reproducible.
That is correct. And then joining us
I'm not special at all. I'm just normal, average human being, no problem.
Well,
there's a bajillion of them out there.
Not saying you're not special. It's just saying that you can be reproduced. We also have with us here a special guest. You've seen him before on such podcasts like Ring Fit with RAF and Disco Dancing Dinosaur Party. It's Dallas Dick Smith. Dallas, say hi.
Richard for long. Hello.
Richard for long. That's right. That's right. Dallas, you are one of our very best friends. You're a wonderful person. You have an amazing family, which people can see in the photographs behind you. Well, they can see your feet. Your family's feet in the photographs behind you on the stream.
Well, you told me to put it down.
No, but now they can only see your eyes and your kids. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. That's a good compromise.
Okay, all right.
For any of you guys just listening. Yeah, that'll do.
And they have the alphabet, if you need to learn the alphabet, numbers, colors.
The colors would be useful. I'm bad at my colors.
Colors would be useful if I didn't already know them, because I'm a smart guy. You guys, we're here to talk about video games, and we're here to talk about video games. Let's talk video games. We are here every single week.
They're hard to memorize all the colors.
Are you talking over me, or is there a delay again?
No, I am making an important point. There are, in fact, a lot of colors. Okay,
there are
at
least 8 colors.
There's way more than 8 colors. You're crazy.
Twitch.tv/Affable Idiots is where you can find us most Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern Time. We're a little late today because we also recorded a Red Dead Redemption backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends podcast with these two other gentlemen as well. We can also be found on YouTube and podcast services Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Eventually, will also be found in a grave somewhere or as ashes in the wind, because we will eventually die. But until then, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Infinity, Xbox Live Gold possibly going away, etc., more, and Moss and Live Moss, Taco Bell. Starting with our main quest tonight, Sony's Summer State of Play. There was a State of Play that happened this past Thursday, as you would portmanteau Thursday, and Tag is day in German. Put them together, Thursday, Thursday. Sony State of Play. Everything announced at the July 2021 PlayStation News event, says Kay Bailey at IGN. This was their E3, y'all. They didn't bill it as that, but it was basically, 2 weeks after.
But they won E3.
Ooh, bold statement from Dallas Dick Smitty saying they won E3. Well, let's talk about kind of what they announced here. So they started out strong with Moss, Book 2, coming out for PlayStation VR. They did not say PlayStation 5 VR. They said PlayStation VR, which I also just realized is going to be a little break in the chain, as I don't get to experience 120 hertz on my new TV if I have PSVR hooked up still, which sucks. Anyway, Moss, Book 2 was the first thing right off the bat. There was a game called Arcadegeddon that was shown there. We had Tribes of Midgard that Dallas has been talking about. We'll talk about, hey, what did you find interesting about this in a little bit. Hunter's Arena Legends. There was Fist, which was not a pornographic video game. It actually stands for Forged in Shadow Torch. There was Sifu, Jet the Far Shore, Demon Slayer, The Hinokami Chronicles, Lost Judgment, Death Stranding Director's Cut, and Deathloop. Quite a lineup, gentlemen. What stood out to you, Holden?
Oh, Deathloop, of course. That game looks awesome. I cannot wait to play that.
Were you disappointed that none of the Sony first parties were here?
No, because they announced ahead of time. I mean, if they hadn't said anything ahead of time, I would have expected there to be something. But because they got it ahead of time and said, hey, it's all third party, I didn't go into it going, where's God of War? When are we going to see that? Because otherwise I would have been thinking that. So I didn't really miss it too much. But it does make me think there's got to be something if Horizon Zero Dawn's coming out this year, there will be another summer event. They're not going to announce it's coming out in November. They're not going to make that announcement in October. They're going to make that announcement in like August, the latest.
What was
we'll see what happens.
I guess it didn't. When did we hear about Ratchet and Clank's release date? Was that March? Something like that?
Yeah, I think about March. Here, let me look it up.
Yeah, you look it up.
But we did hear about that kind of surprisingly late.
Yeah, Dallas, tell me everything about what you think made this win E3.
Honestly, for me personally, every game they showed it got me excited. To pop off with Moss, I wasn't expecting that. I was telling Holden today that like it caught me totally off guard, but I loved the first Moss game. It was like the best PSVR experience I've ever had, and I want more of a game like that in that system. It reminded me like I just want Zelda in 3D, like a 2D Zelda in 3D. It'd be fucking awesome. And that game kind of made me get those vibes, like dungeony kind of stuff. And then every other game looked cool. I've been hyped on Tribes of Midgard since I first saw it. I think at E3 maybe they were showing it last year. That Sifu game looks fucking incredible. Like real hype for that.
Why do I feel like Tribes of Midgard is something that you've been talking about? I'm getting it confused with something else because I saw it here and I was like, man, that actually looks cool as fuck. And it's an action RPG. And I thought it was a lot more of like a survival game.
So I guess there is a survival aspect to the game where you do like a base building kind of thing and those big giants come and like try and tear down your base. But it's kind of got some Diablo vibes to it, like dungeon crawling, like top down isometric kind of thing. So, and we kind of we got into a little bit of that Diablo 3 for a couple of nights, and I thought we were having a blast. So this looked cool. I haven't finished Death Stranding, so I'm excited to be able to jump back into that.
Let's hang out on Death Stranding for a little bit. Let's hang out on Death Stranding. Okay, so there's a bunch of new things coming to it, like being able to jump over ramps and shit like that. You can literally like run up a ramp and jump across a cliff. You have a little buddy that can run and carry shit. They've got a cargo catapult as well.
Yeah, I think those are some quality of life things for that game.
Yeah, sure. Why do I want to go back and play this game?
Because it's cool.
It's a great question because you did not like it.
I feel like I didn't like it. But I mean, I see all of this and I see this game and it's just like, it's so alluring to me. And there's like the mystery of it is just like, God, I gotta know.
And upgraded combat is a big thumbs up in my opinion because the combat I think was like the worst aspect of that game, and like just walking around was the best part, which is weird for a cool game, for a game to be cool. Like, oh, the walking is awesome. Yeah. So hopefully
I'm hung up on this. Chad just said he wants to play this. How can you finish Red Dead and be like, oh God, Red Dead was so boring and slow? It'd be like Death Stranding. Oh my God, I'm so into that walking.
Because the things that happen on the walk are more interesting. And there's less horse buddies. And get this. Yes, they are more interesting because I'm not staring at a cowboy, a smelly, stinky cowboy, and his poopy, scrawny drag horse. I'm staring at this like Norman Reedus holding a weird multi-dimensional alien baby while he's going in these invisible fucking oil monsters that are gonna come eat you and turn into giant whale sharks that fucking make Mads Mikkelsen horny for Troy Baker. And it's like, what the fuck is going? That's the kind of interesting shit. When I see cowboys out there, it's like, oh, I'm gonna scrub the rust off my gun, and I'm like, I don't care.
I get it. It makes sense to me, Chad. I understand where you're coming from.
Considering you already like Death Stranding, nope.
Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna pay the $10. So here's another small little headline associated with it. The PS5 upgrade will cost $10, but will also come with all the rest of the shit for it. I think I'm going to pay the $10.
I have a question about
this. I think I'm going to put it on easy mode because I feel like what was frustrating for me was the BT interactions and like trying to be sneaky through there and like it not working as well as I wanted it to. So I think I'm just going to put it on easy mode and go through this game and have a blast with it.
I want to have a clarification on something. Do you pay for the director's cut full game and then it's a $10 upgrade from that? Or if you have any version of Death Stranding on PS4, pay $10 to get the director's cut and the PS5 version?
It's a great question.
Is that how that works? Because that doesn't seem seems weird to me.
I feel like I remember seeing a headline where now I'm going to be lying. It's probably about something else that I saw this, but I thought it was Death Stranding. PS4 gets the upgrade to the PS5 stuff for free, but the director's cut content is, I don't know. I'm just speaking out my ass right now. Something this week said, hey, the PS5 upgrade is free. I don't remember what it was, but there was like a 13% chance in my brain that it was Death Stranding.
I'm looking up a PlayStation blog. I'm going to see if they have a line about it.
Do it. That looked dope. Some other things that look cool.
Here's the upgrade path defined. It says right here. If you already own the PS4 version of Death Stranding, you can get the PS5 Death Stranding Director's Cut Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade for $10.
Okay, so everything. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Moss. Just like for you, Moss for me was a big old boner. It was one of my favorite VR games. Fist. I can't remember whether it was Fist or whether it was Sifu. Which one was the one that was just like a bunch of fucking fighting and then the guy getting older and older and then it was more
Sifu.
fighting?
That's Sifu.
I was like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool little mechanic there.
Yeah, I've been following their Twitter page since I first saw the game, and they update like gameplay clips all the time, and that combat just looks so much fun, dude. Like,
yeah,
it reminds me of like what I remember Shenmue was like, but probably way better.
I never played Shenmue.
Oh,
hey,
God.
Can both of you
don't
tell
like
me...
driving fork trucks around?
Can both of you tell me how is Jet the Far Shore not just ugly No Man's Sky?
Right.
What makes it different?
Because I think it's a more linear experience. These are the same guys who made Sword and Sorcery.
Favorite iOS game of all time. And it's also like 10 years old.
I feel like this is a more linear story, is my guess. Whereas No Man's Sky is just like wide open, do whatever kind of thing. Okay. I feel like there's an actual story to Jet the Far Shore.
Is there no combat, or were they saying you are encouraged not to get into combat? Because I read it as both. Because the very first time they're like, and then we get on here and there's so much that goes into you not actually fighting these. Like they were showing you like shying away from big monsters or things like that. And then they're like, and then sometimes you have to get out of a sticky situation. And then they played and they played that music while these guys chatting. So I couldn't tell whether there actually was no combat or whether they just discouraged it through gameplay. I don't know.
I want to say discouraged now I look back at it, but you bring up a good question. I don't know for sure.
In the blog here, they talk about creating a peaceful home for the people against heavy odds. So I'm guessing it's a very peace-driven game. So maybe they don't want you to shoot things because shooting things does not bring peace to people.
And they also said there's no mining.
Unless you just kill everybody.
Like, no mining for materials and shit. Something like that. Anyway, it just looked like an uglier No Man's Sky to me. But still, like, if you're into that type of experience, like, you will like it, assumedly. But then they spent a significant amount of time on Deathloop, which is that Bethesda game that is still coming to PlayStation 5 exclusively, at least for the next year after it comes out. Yep, until September 2022. Tell me about why this made you guys so horny. Holden, I think you were just like all over Deathloop, right? Tell me about it.
I was, yeah. So first of all, I pre-ordered it before this demo even came out, so I've already been sold on it. Okay. But what still listening. A few things I learned about this that I really liked was it's just one giant map. It's one huge map you're exploring on this island, and you have 8 targets to yeah.
They're all 8 targets on one map.
Yeah.
Do you spawn in the same location for every target?
Yeah. No, you don't. So you spawn at the same location regardless, and then you go figure out which target you want to go after. Because the whole idea, so like, think Majora's Mask, where there's a specific time frame to the game, and the NPC characters are all doing something specific at a specific time. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn that about this one-day cycle in Deathloop. So when you die, you start back at the beginning of that day, and then you have to figure out kind of where everyone's going to be at the certain times and what's the most opportune way to go through and kill all these 8 targets. So you might kill 4 of them and then you die and then you go back to the beginning and you're like, okay, it didn't work when I killed those 4. Let me go for the guy I was going to go for the 6th kill first, and then I'll work my way back down, and then I'll get 7 and 8, towards the end. Like, you kind of like plan your route and figure out how you're going to get around it. And you're getting new abilities and powering up your abilities and getting more powerful, and then learning the map at the same time to get better over time with the game.
Is there a Mega Man type mechanic where you kill a person, you learn a technique or an ability from them that is then useful against another boss, and you got to like figure, oh, maybe if I had killed 6 first, that would have made 2 really easy?
I don't know about that, but if it's anything like Dishonored, you'll be getting abilities throughout the game. So you might get an ability on one run and then go, oh, this is gonna be really useful later on. Okay. But I don't know if you'll get it from beating a boss or not. I don't know how that works.
Okay. Dallas,
so I've kind of heard.
Yes, I'm a little worried that I was explaining to Holden earlier that I have this thing about video games that offer cool opportunities to do things that are like cool, and if I don't do them the coolest way possible, I like have to keep doing it until I do it until I satisfy that like coolness.
Yeah.
And I think this game is gonna fuck me over with that kind of stuff. Like I'm gonna spend hours just trying to get everything perfectly cool. But
that's what's fun about Hitman, though.
Yeah, that's what my issues with Hitman is. I try and make the cool, like I want to do the coolest things. So like if I screw up a little bit, I just start it all over again. And even if I have to backtrack like 5 hours, I will do it again. So I'll probably put hundreds of hours into this game if that's the case. I'm sold on it. It looks like a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
I think this finally confirmed it for me that it's just not my type of game. It looks too much like too many. I don't know, not quite puzzly elements, but like almost logic puzzle type stuff where like, oh, if you do this at this, like so-and-so walks from A to B at 1,300 hours, but so-and-so walks from C to D. And then if you have item number R and you also are part inchworm, then in the middle you can get them both in one go. It's too much for me. I like the freedom of choice.
I highly doubt the game is like an algebra problem.
But no, it's those kind of things like everyone's on their track, and then if you die 7 times and you learn that so and so's track intersects with so and so's track, and then I can get both of them with this barrel up, like that kind of thing. Like taking all of that time to figure that out is not really my cup of tea. I do like this world and the things that you can do to it kind of remind me a lot of BioShock. Obviously, like carrying a gun in one hand and having a power in the other obviously makes a callback to that. But with BioShock, it was like, hey, here are like 7 different ways that you can take out these X number of enemies rather than figure out the coolest way to do it or the right way based on their schedules, like that kind of thing. So this, I think, for me is just like, it's not the kind of game that gets me. And also, PS5 exclusive, right? It's exclusive. Yeah. Why do these character models look like they're PS4? I was just not impressed visually by the game.
I think that's just the art direction.
Is this an art style?
Yeah, I think it's just the art style. Yeah, because the lighting and all that looks gorgeous.
The lighting was wonderful, yeah. And apparently the haptics are amazing on it, too.
Right. And I'm guessing it runs perfectly, at a good frame rate and everything, but
I was just
if you're not a fan of that art style, yeah.
There were also a couple of times where like you could see things that were supposed to be round, but they still had like the very rigid octagonal edges and stuff like that. And like it took me out of it a little bit. I was like, nah, it doesn't look like a PS5, especially after we see Ratchet and Clank and Returnal and all these games that look fucking stellar. And then to see something like that, I was like, oh, that takes me back a little bit in a bad way. But it looks like it's going to be a great game. I do regret picking it I picked it as like the you're not going to win pick in our fantasy league, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, you got a counterpick for it?
Yeah, counterpick. That's what it's called. That's going to fuck.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, you're going to lose like I think.
But I'm already winning by a ton, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah.
Good for you.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're beating by 3 points. You're
what did you pick up?
3 points, and it's because Ratchet and Clank. So you're beating by 3 points, but I also have. You have 2 more games that have been reviewed over me.
If so you die in real life, does your score go away? Is that how death and digital assets work?
Not gonna lie, I feel really confident about my last half of the year. I'm feeling really good.
Oh my god, I haven't even picked up anything in the last 3 months. Ever since you guys made the rule that I can't secretly do things without telling you guys.
You haven't
picked on it
up anything in 3 months. I haven't picked up anything since we started.
Yeah, I'm in last place. Don't care about it. I care about winning.
I care about it. I care about the draft, not the micromanaging of everything.
That's part of the game. Part of the game.
We did a draft.
It's not the fundamentals, Holden.
Draft. I still have $100 to spend, so fuck you guys. Looking at
hopefully Sony announces some new exclusive games that you can outbid us on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I think I actually maxed out the games. I don't think I get any.
Did those bids go through? Are they like confirmed already, or can I still bid on them?
Every Saturday.
On what? Oh yeah.
Bids
so they're locked in
Saturday.
after that one Saturday.
They're locked in. You couldn't outbid us at this point.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So back when Metroid Dread came out, I was like adamant. I'm like, Chad, you're not getting Metroid Dread. I will get Metroid Dread. And I bid literally $1 more than the entirety of what you had.
I think it was Brent. I haven't bid in months.
No. So you can't see the bids.
Oh, gotcha.
Until after they go through.
Okay,
so
you
I was
saw
thinking,
how much
like,
money I had, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think Chad's gonna go for Metroid Dread. I can see him doing that, and I'm like, nope. He has $46. I'm betting 47. And then you didn't bet it all, and Brent only bet like $10 on it, so I wasted $37 or $36.
Good.
So I have one game released already, and I'm in second place.
What?
There's only one game that's been rated.
Let's go through the official standings. Let's go through the official standings.
Don't do advanced prediction. Oh, okay, that is.
.games. God, just keep me logged in forever, please.
I got it up.
Yeah, but I want to read it.
So, all right, fine.
Okay, here we are. Okay, points actual is what we'll be going by. In first place, we have me with 36.37 points. That's it. That's all that matters, y'all. I'm in first place. So
I turned off.
I
turned on advanced predictions and the points actual.
Oh yeah.
I mean the points projected. I'm in second place.
Points projected, you're in third place.
Yeah, the points projected. The points projected is just like what's the average review score a game gets, and then if you have like 5 games, it's 5 times the average number of points a game gets. So that's how it does the normal projected. But then if it does the advanced projection, it's like some sort of algorithm to predict what it will get on Metacritic based on past successes. And I don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I've only had one score so far, and that's Little Nightmares 2.
This is a good one.
But then I have God of War and Legend of Zelda will not release, so I'm fucked.
Oh, it's all right.
Better zero than negative points, though.
That's true.
Yeah, I do have Elden Ring. I have another one too, I think, don't I? Let me check.
No, that was the only one that won't release for you. Possibly Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Breath of the Wild 2, if that's on your list, it's not going to release, even though it's not marked.
No,
yeah, that's not mine. That's not mine.
Oh, that's right. It was on Dallas's. Okay. Yeah, I guess I could technically drop.
Yeah, Dallas,
Elden
you
Ring
only have 4 games.
Yeah. And 2 of them aren't releasing. So.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the Sony State of Play. Generally, really, really great. Awesome. Good. Anything left you guys have to say about the Sony State of Play?
I mean, for what it was and how they set it up, I thought that was a really good event. I gave it a B.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent event. Let's move on to playtime. We're talking about what we played this week, and we're going to start with Dallas, just because I see nothing on there, and I'm just like wicked curious.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't update.
Okay.
So I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you play that because of Backlog Accomplishment with Respawn and Friends, the segment we just recorded that people can go on YouTube and watch and go to podcast?
I absolutely did.
Oh my god, what a coincidence!
I also played it because it's my favorite game of all time. Man, it's amazing.
It's your favorite game of all time? I didn't know that about you. I'm just kidding. I did. I learned that on the podcast. You should listen to
it. Played some Destiny 2 with you and Matt, which is always a pleasure. This season is much more interesting than last season, so I think I'm hooked again. I like the aesthetic of the Elixir and what's the other ones?
The Vex.
The Splicer.
Oh, the whole Splicer thing. Yeah.
Peter Dinklage.
Have you? So we're obviously behind on the season. Have you played? Did you do the expunge mission?
No,
you didn't do that yet.
I haven't done the last thing. I haven't played since the last time we played.
Gotcha.
So I saw the text that you left us the other day saying how awesome that was.
Yeah, there's a good lore drop with
Saint 14 or 44. So definitely excited to jump back in now that the pod has recorded for Red Dead. I don't think I'll be playing that as much, I guess. And we need to do a raid soon.
Yeah, it's part of our next part of the gear that we got to unlock is by doing any raids. So we got to.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah, to unlock the glow. It's gonna be good.
Nice.
I'll hold the camera. You guys have fun with that.
I also played this game recently called Yes, Your Grace. I was telling Chad about it. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure, like dialogue game where it's all just dialogue. Pretty cool so far. The story is pretty intriguing. You are this king who has 3 daughters. You are being attacked. You have to agree to marry off your oldest daughter to a ally, and then he ends up dying at the wedding, and the son who your daughter married is crazy, and it gets pretty crazy, man. Having kids, I feel terrible for this man. He has a lot of tough decisions to make, and it's actually pretty awesome. I would highly suggest it. It's on Game Pass. And there's a demo. I think I played the demo on Switch. It's only like the first section of the game where you make the decisions on allying with the other king who dies. So I didn't get to see what happens after all that, and it's definitely worth. Even though I just spoiled a little bit of it for you, it gets even crazier. So
dope. And so it's all just text adventure.
Well, it's that's the mechanic. That's like the gameplay mechanic is selecting text, but there's animations and character sprite models and stuff. Gotcha. There's like a map where you select in the castle area where to go, and you interact with other characters. But there's no actual physical gameplay besides like walking off and on the screen.
Gotcha.
So
it's cool. You just added a ton of shit in here last second.
I did.
You played more Plague Tale Innocence and more Super Mario Golf Super Rush for some reason.
So I'll go to the list here. Red Dead Redemption 2, played that, obvious reasons. Listen to the Barf episode. It's good times. Played some Mario Golf Super Rush. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. Fuck you guys. I like it. It's relaxing. It's soothing. I like it. It's not great. It's not going to be like my Game of the Year contenders or anything, but I enjoy it. And then there was PS5 updates for Plague Tale Innocence and Doom Eternal. And I wanted to see what the PS5 updates were like. Plague Tale Innocence, when I heard about it, I was upset because I'm like, I just played that a few months ago. I would have rather played the PlayStation 5 version. And after having replayed the first mission, I don't feel like I needed to play the PlayStation 5 version. I don't feel like I missed out. They're fine updates, but nothing that's like, whoa, amazing.
I saw someone tweet that the haptics in the Plague Tale Innocence update were incredible. Did you particularly experience walking over all the dead bodies? Did you get to feel that? Or
I didn't. So yeah, if there's anything like story based that happens those moments, I don't know about that. If there's anything with the rats, I don't know about that. I think they could do some cool stuff with the rats, but I didn't notice too much in terms of sneaking around and your manor area and kind of getting away from the invading soldiers. I didn't really feel too much that was like incredible to me. I feel like in some games do this. I'm not a fan of this. They'll only do the walking haptic feedback when you're running, but when you're normally walking, they don't do anything. I don't like that. Do it all the time. Just do it all the time. Feels great. Very immersive. Do it all the time. And then like there's things like the little sling you have and throwing stuff where it felt fine. It ran well. It was 60 frames per second. Ran well. It was good. I mean, if it's in PS Plus, if you've never played the game before, play it. Regardless of any PS5 stuff, just play it. It's really good. And then I did Doom Eternal because I was waiting for the PS5 version to come back, but a little bit more of that. And just, goddamn, that game's really fucking good on PS5. the haptics are really awesome. That's an example of a really good PS5 upgrade that adds a lot to it, and just at 4K 60 looks gorgeous, feels great to play. The guns are fun because of the haptics, even though they're already fun before, and it's actually a good game to play after Ratchet and Clank, oddly enough, because both have a similar gameplay style of every weapon does something specific in the games. You're having to switch between these different weapons all the times to switch to defeat different enemies and different demons that are coming in. It's actually kind of similar to Ratchet and Clank in that way. It's where it's kind of a good transition to get away from Ratchet and Clank, because I got really deep into that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing this week.
When I used to teach children's theater, the troop of people, like other counselors and stuff like that I was working with, would often have to be so PC and like kid friendly, around like 80 kids at a time, that then they overcompensated, and just like at night they really get fucking shit faced and say all the dirtiest words and things they could think of. And I feel like that's the overcorrection you just made with Ratchet. Like, I just played a game about turning enemies into dancing and big fluffy cows and stuff, and then you're just like, let me go fucking rip an alien in half with a chainsaw.
Doomslayer takes off the mask. It's actually Ratchet. He's like, God damn, they gotta get out of that series. You're so childish. This is what I wanted to do the whole time.
Well, I just played more Destiny 2. Still getting settled here in my apartment, building my entertainment center all weekend as well. So, I'm just dipping my dick back into that Destiny. That's it. We're going to move on to our quest log, which is very short. This is going to be very short. This might, if our regular episode ends up being shorter than our barf episode, then that'll be a first, but it might happen.
I could do 2 more hours of barf with you guys right now if you want.
I feel like you would have to eat more
hours
before you could barf more for 2 hours.
That's true.
Let's jump into our Microsoft quest log. 2 Sobies? Sobe Life Water?
No, Soggies.
You
don't know what a Soggy
Say that
is?
again? What is that?
Soggy. A
Rhode
Soggy.
Island thing. He's not gonna get it.
What is that? What is that you have?
It's a hot dog.
I feel like you guys
Basically
just have so many different types of hot dogs in Rhode Island.
We do.
That's all you eat is just Glizzy Central up there.
Glizzies.
Oh, I love Rhode Island. Microsoft.
You don't.
I do. I've had only great experiences in Rhode Island. True story.
Okay.
Move here. Prove it. Show me the contents of your tummy.
Microsoft's report claims Microsoft still has interest in removing Xbox Live Gold in favor of Game Pass, says Dennis Patrick at GameRanks. This information comes from Jeff Grubb, who seems to know everything about the gaming industry and is always telling everyone else. He's not sure when it will happen, but he knows that Microsoft is looking to remove Gold in order to focus more on, obviously, their big ticket item, Game Pass. They're just waiting for that to hit a bigger subscriber count, apparently. This is, obviously, Game Pass is what they're pushing. It's something that they're looking to expand past the console space, which they just released the iOS version, available on PC in your browser now as well. And it also comes, 6 months or so after they were going to double the price of Xbox Live Gold, and then immediately walked it back and said, oh, just kidding, we know that was the wrong move. So I would say, yeah, Jeff Grubb, this sounds like it's something that's going to happen soon. Gold is going to go away. Game Pass Ultimate will now be the standard. What do you guys think?
I think you called it years ago.
Yeah, it's been a prediction of mine for a long time, yeah.
Yeah. I think your prediction something along the lines of like Game Pass will replace games with Gold or something like that. But the idea is kind of like these services are going to be combined into one service at some point. And I think that makes sense. I think it's a tougher sell when Game Pass is a separate purchase. And I don't think Game Pass Ultimate has done enough to convince people to do both at the same time that way. I feel like they'll get more money overall if they just combine them and get rid of Game Pass. Game Pass Ultimate will be the PC, xCloud, and console stuff all in one. And then Game Pass will just also, like the $10 version will just come with Xbox Gold, or what we think of as Xbox Gold. And you can still play online. You just don't get the PC access. You don't get to play xCloud or something. Like there'll still be distinction maybe, but they need to just wrap these together, I think. It's time.
It's so weird to me to think about the fact that like there is still a Game Pass, not a Game Pass Ultimate, but like Game Pass itself still exists without the cloud versions, without the PC, without being able to play multiplayer with people. I was like, oh yeah, I always forget that's a thing for $5 cheaper a month.
I was paying for it for like 6 months and I hadn't used it until they just released the X Cloud on ISO. So it's like, yeah, I forgot all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do the thing where I only ever pay $1 for Xbox Game Pass, and I enroll for like 3 months, and then I make sure to turn off auto renewal, and then I just never use it, and then like 3 or 4 months will go by, and then eventually, just like freaking the stars align, whenever I want to use it again, I go to sign up again. It's like, boom, you can try it for free for $1 for 3 months. And I was like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
See, I thought that was always just for new users. How do you keep getting that offer?
It's the stars, man. Astrology.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Next up, third-party quest log. One story as well here. Ubisoft is working on Assassin's Creed Infinity, an evolving world game, says Rachel Kaiser at GameRanks. In true Assassin's Creed fashion, it leaked and then immediately got confirmed by Ubisoft. Ubisoft apparently wants to move Assassin's Creed away from the single-player experience that it has been so far into more of a game as a service, which is the new hot ticket thing in this generation of gaming. And instead of sticking to, like each generation has been so far, a singular point in history, Assassin's Creed Infinity, quote, will contain multiple settings with room to expand to others in the months and years following its debut. Originally, this was a leak from Bloomberg, but Ubisoft has since confirmed the project's existence and saying that they are still actively developing content not only for this, but also for Valhalla. So they're still going to continue to support Valhalla as a standalone thing as well for the time being. Dallas, you are a big Assassin's Creed fan, almost as big as Brent. So does this tickle your pickle, or does this stink in your pink?
Personally, I'm not a purist like Brent. I would consider Brent to be. So I'm not as upset over this.
Mm-hmm.
I love Destiny. If this could be as interesting, as engaging as Destiny could be, then I don't see this being a bad thing at all. I kind of, not that I saw this coming, but it makes sense that they're going this route because at least the last 3 Assassin's Creeds have had expansions, DLCs that, there's like at least 3 story expansion DLCs for each of those games. So I could, it makes sense. Like people keep buying these DLCs, so it's almost kind of like a season anyways. They have, especially with Valhalla, they kind of even said, they've almost considered them seasons, because they keep putting them out every 3 months or so, to match seasons, the summer content, the spring content. They're having these festivals in Valhalla that align with different seasons and stuff. So to me, it makes sense why they're going this route. If it's successful, why change it? It's probably a better opportunity to make money for them to do it this way, especially if the purists don't come with their pitchforks and burn down fucking Ubisoft. But I'm not gonna knock it until I try it and it sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I like AC. The more AC I get, the happier I'll be.
I feel like it's a really easy.
Also,
sorry, go for it, Holden.
I think the series also lends itself to this kind of format where, like, maybe the interface is that you go into the Animus and then you get to choose, well, what ancestor do I want to go from my past? I want to go see, and that's kind of, you switch between these different time periods and different stories. And like this series, I think, lends itself really well to a game of service. Actually, there's so many possibilities. They can now return to areas they've made before, and I think that would work too. I can see this working out. And there's a lot of these games of service that still have decent stories. So if story is what you're caring about, I don't really see how this is going to take away from that in a huge way.
Yeah, I think the Animus makes this all a really easy way to transition between things. And if you bring up the concept of like seasons, it just like Destiny is like, oh, this one's season of the Splicer, and it's all going to be around like the Vex Mind. But this one's like, oh, This one's all taking place in Rome for the next 4 weeks, and all you're gonna do, all this cool Rome stuff. You're gonna get this great, cool Italian armor, and as you kind of make assassinations and stuff like that, and then join us in March for a whole 6-week arc in, I don't know, fucking Greece. I don't know, whatever it might be. It's like it's a really easy thing to do with the Animus. They'd have to. I haven't been deep in the lore of Assassin's Creed in maybe a decade, but they would have to figure out how to, lore-wise, if they care to, how to make you jump around from area to area being the same person, because don't you have to be like related to the person in order to go back into their body in time periods? Like, yeah, so like you obviously can't be related to people from all of these places, and then still have like a customizable character. Because I think the key to this, having it as a game of service that you continually come back to and earn things for, the key to it is having like you are your character rather than you are an assassin in one spot.
I agree.
I think it could be cool and engaging in a universe that a lot of people love. I think it's the right move. And I see people complaining like, "Oh my god, there's single player Assassin's Creed is gonna be dead now, and that's what I like." And this doesn't mean that to me. I see this as like, oh yeah, you could have single player content everywhere, all over this place, while also having opportunity. Like Destiny, there's like 17 different games within Destiny. You can do the same thing in Assassin's Creed. You can have single player stuff, you could have a story, and then you can also have like a place where you guys go to fucking stab each other in the eyes, whatever it might be.
They could also handle the same way Rockstar does, where it's like you're in the same world regardless if you're in online or in story, but you choose story and online separately, and story has its own single player focus to it, but then they just reuse that world for the online mode, and that as a system works great. So they can even do that.
Dope. Well, I'm sure we'll hear more about that at a future Ubisoft Forward that is either mediocre or slightly better than that.
Yeah, it's also super far away too.
Yeah, it's very far because they still have lots of Valhalla content, and usually these things leak like, I don't know, a good 12 to 16 months ahead of their release date. So we're probably that far out. All right, fetch quests. We've got 5 of them to get through, and then we get to a yummy little game. First one, these are little stories headlines that are maybe not super meaty, but we feel like they're worth mentioning anyway. Resident Evil Village has shifted 4.5 million copies worldwide, says Alex Calvin at PC Games Insider. Dope. Awesome game. We recorded a spoiler chat about Resident Evil Village while we were all in the same room, and it was electric, and it was wonderful.
Yep.
We were all stiff the whole time. Next one, Bloober Team downplays Silent Hill speculation, says Alex Calvin at PC Games Insider. I did not click on this one, Holden. What does this mean? What are we talking about here?
So basically, they're saying there's the whole rumor of one of their projects they're working on is Silent Hills. That's why there's the Konami partnership, and they basically just said like, hey, some of these projects, like, we're in production on one of them, we're in pre-production for another one, but there are our own stories. He's kind of like downplaying it. He didn't outright say it's not Silent Hills. We were just kind of like, look, we have our projects we're working on them. There are our own ideas. That's where we're at right now. So they kind of downplayed it, but it wasn't necessarily an outright denial. But I also don't think that they, considering those talks with Konami just began, they wouldn't really be. There are rumors that the game is already being worked on, regardless of the Kojima stuff. Like, these rumors have been out for like a long time, and they even come from like Dusk Golem, who predicted everything accurately about Resident Evil Village, like down to a T. And he's like, guys, there's a Silent Hill game is being made right now. It's like, it's happening. It doesn't seem like it's Bloober Team though.
Gotcha. Next up, just announced this week, Witcher 3 Complete Edition is a next-gen update with gear from the Netflix series, says Ryan Gilliam at Polygon. So yeah, next-gen upgrades are coming. It's going to have Netflix gear in it. It's going to be Witcher 3. And also, you pointed this out, Holden, apparently if you own the base game on current-gen systems and you get upgraded with all the DLC to the Complete Edition, this is what I was thinking of, not Death Stranding. This is the one where you get the next-gen version for free with all those upgrades.
Yeah.
Got it.
And they needed the good publicity, so good thing they did this.
They did, because here's the next one. Cyberpunk 2077 was the most downloaded game on PS4 in June, says Zach Sveitzen at Kotaku. It was finally back on PSN after being away since launch for all of those months. And surprisingly, it came back June 21st. So in the last, like, basically week of that month, it topped the downloads on that service. A lot of PS owners were apparently really wanting to get this game for a long time, but couldn't.
This is probably the best news CD Projekt Red could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Is that there is still interest in their game. This gives, I had kind of been I loved Cyberpunk 2077. I absolutely loved that game. But I also agree with all the criticisms of its launch and how rocky and awful and terrible and just it ruining the trust in the fan. I get all of it. I agree with all of it. But I was like really bummed because I'm like, oh man, it's a shame because this is actually a really good game and I think it's going to get lost. So I'm like, I don't think so. I think people are going to wait. And I think people are genuinely going to try to give this game a chance in the long run, which is just, I don't think they could have asked for a better scenario post everything that had happened.
That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting. Give me that PS5 update and I'll play the shit out of that game.
How far did you get in your first run, or did you not even do a first run?
No, I did a first run. I got pretty far. I probably put like 40 hours in. 45.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But you know the way I play games.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You push your nose.
I
barely
beat it
did
in 45
anything.
hours. You're on like the third mission. So
Yeah.
And then finally,
So many
Bloodborne PS5 rumors continue as new claims of a, quote, Hunter's Edition emerge, says Kyle Knight at Dual Shockers. I think this is the one thing that everyone in the world can agree will be a great thing. I don't think I've ever heard... But you're not saying it's a bad thing.
No, because I'm sure there's people out there that would love it.
That's right. There you go. Way to be a good internet man.
Other people's happiness brings me happiness.
last week we talked about this whole Bloodborne thing is like, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. In that week, though, I've kind of returned to that and thought there's so many director's cuts of these PS4 games coming out. I can absolutely see them doing a Bloodborne director's cut. The demand is there. People will absolutely buy it.
You know what's interesting though? Bloodborne. It's just so weird that Bloodborne is on the PlayStation Plus collection. And of all of those games, I think it's the only one that doesn't have a PS4 Pro patch or a PS5 version. And so, like, the fact that it's there makes me think that that's all the love they're going to give it. Like, hey, it's free. Whereas everything else, like Death Stranding's not on there, and it's getting this upgraded thing. All of these other games, The Witcher's not on there.
Chad, stop talking right now.
I hope I'm wrong, but like that, it's such a weird thing because every other game on that collection has some kind of upgrade or some kind of PS5 or PS4 Pro extra bell and whistle.
No, I hear you. I was being facetious earlier, but I hear you. Like that game has gotten zero attention since it came out. It feels like from like Sony and from software. It's kind of like cool. Right. It came. It got Old Hunters DLC. Moving on. It's Dark Souls 3. It's Sekiro. It's Elden Ring now, and I feel like it's like past. I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I can see it getting like for PS7 launch, Bloodborne remake by Bluepoint or something like that. Like I can see that happening in the future for sure. And I would love to see this, director's cut version or whatever, the Hunter's Edition happen. But yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up until I see it. Can I include something that I forgot to include in the fetch quest?
Only if you type it in the note.
Nope, I'm saying it. You're going to hear it right now anyway. So, okay. There's we talked about the OLED Switch last week.
Yeah. SWOLED.
And I heard the SWOLED, and I heard two. Well, I'll talk about one theory about like why it is the way it is that I'm like, that sounds right to me. The theory goes that Bloomberg got everything 100% correct except 4K. It's like the one thing they didn't get correct, but everything else was like spot on. There's a theory that they were going to release it as a 4K model, but then NVIDIA had trepidation because of the supply constraints on chip components right now. They're like, making a whole new chip at the moment might not be the best idea because of yields and getting used to manufacturing process in this like time period with everything going on with the chip shortage might not be the best idea, and they were pulling out. But Nintendo had contractual obligations with Samsung to release to buy up OLED screens, so they didn't really have this choice. They had to release something because they weren't going to lose all this money in the Samsung deal. So they basically had to release a Switch that was OLED only. And without the 4K. I heard that theory. I'm like, that's interesting. I'll say the second one too, actually. Someone noted, I think it was Digital Foundry, noted that the new dock has better air ventilation. But the newer chipset are the Tegra 1X Plus chips don't run hot on the Switch at all. Like there's never been like it runs really cool even in the dock. So like there's not really a need for them to put in those
but those Ethernet cables get real hot.
The Ethernet cables get really hot. So maybe it's that they're going to use this dock for the next Switch as well, which will be the quote unquote Pro one. And that's why this is like a stepping stone to that. And here's the way this makes sense too. OLED screens don't have as good yields when you're manufacturing them as an LCD or an LED panel does. However, if you get used to the manufacturing process over the course of a year with the OLED Switch, then that's not going to be as prohibitive when they release a higher powered Switch, maybe next year or the year after that. There's some interesting theories as to kind of why this is playing out the way it's playing out.
Yeah, I had heard that first one, and I was like, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. That they're just like,
yeah,
we have all these screens that we agreed to buy, and if the chips aren't there, we got to fucking release something. But I hadn't considered this. I did notice the extra ventilation on the other dock when they like showed it open and stuff like that. I was like, oh, there's some extra slits in there. I hadn't thought twice about it, but it's an interesting little
Digital Foundry thought twice because that's what they do.
It's time for Game On Game Show. The Game On the Gaming Show. We play a game called Game On, the Gaming Show. Game Show. Game. You guys, we have a game we have not played since March 2nd of 2021. It's been over 4 months since we've seen Quiz Me Captain. It's me, Margaret. We have a special 2-player version of this one, as you know. Quiz Me Captain meets me, Margaret. There are 4 rounds, each one of varying length, with different types of questions. We're going to bounce back and forth. So we'll do first round of Holden, followed by first round of Dallas. And then second round of Holden, second round of Dallas, and so on and so forth. If you get through all 4 rounds successfully, you get a super secret prize. However, if you fail a round, you still have to get through the rest of the rounds, but you just don't get the super secret prize. Are
Dallas,
you ready?
Before we move on, Dallas, you're about to feel my pain of playing this game.
I play it every time you play it. I play it along with you.
Oh, so you know, we're in this together this time. It's going to be okay.
Are you ready for Quiz Me Captain?
Game show
it's
ever.
me, Margaret.
Ready.
Holden, you're up first. First round is 30 seconds. Usually one prompt. You have 30 seconds to complete it. Are you ready for round 1? Quiz Me Captain. It's me, Margaret.
As ready as I will ever be.
30 seconds on the clock starts now. Name 7 power-ups from the Mario franchise.
Mushroom.
1.
Fire. Flower.
2.
Penguin.
3. 10 seconds.
Cloud. Bee.
4. 5.
And Tanuki.
6. One more.
Oh, that's 6. And then the penguin suit.
You already said it?
I already said that one?
Yep.
Ice
5
flower.
seconds left. All right. 7. Way to go. Whew. Almost didn't make that one. That was tough. Congratulations. You passed round 1. 30 seconds. Way to go.
Yay.
I would have failed that one.
Dallas, are you ready?
Yes.
For your turn at round 1 of Quiz Me Captain, it's me, Margaret.
Ready.
You have 30 seconds on the clock starting now. Name 12 people you know who have belly buttons.
Me.
Yep. 1.
You.
2.
Holden.
3.
Doesn't count.
My wife.
4.
My child Arabella. My child
5.
Lincoln.
6. 15
Matt,
seconds left.
Brent.
7. 8.
My mother. My father.
9. 10.
My uncle Doug
11.
and my auntie Lisa.
12. Oh, whew. Almost didn't make it. That was close. Very close, Dallas, but you successfully passed round 1. Moving on to round 2. Gets a little bit tougher, but you have a little bit more time. 60 seconds. There are multiple prompts in this one. You have to get through all prompts before you reach the end of the 60-second timer. Holden, are you ready for round 2 of Quiz Me Captain? It's me, Margaret.
This is the toughest one. I'm never ready for it. I've never made it
We're not
past round
starting
2,
until you tell me you're ready. We'll wait.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Round 2. Quiz Me Captain. It's me, Margaret. 60 seconds. Starts now. Name 4 Rockstar games that don't have a number in the title.
Grand Theft Auto.
1.
Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, Grand
2,
Theft Auto Liberty City Stories,
3,
and Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories.
4. Name 5
Boom.
cities in which people play video games.
Providence, Boston,
1,
New York
2,
City,
3,
Chicago,
4,
Los Angeles.
5. You have 20 seconds on the clock already. What is Pokemon a portmanteau of?
Pocket Monsters? Is that
Congratulations. You have passed with 28 seconds on the clock. You have passed round 2 of Quiz Me Captain. It's me, Margaret.
That's the first time I think I've ever passed round 2.
You've gotten the whole game once. Because I put the Squirtle amiibo in my mouth as your super secret prize. All right, Dallas.
Yes.
Round 2. Quiz Me Captain. It's me, Margaret. You have 60 seconds for this one. Are you ready?
Ready.
60 seconds starts now. Count backwards from 6.
5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Correct. What are your dogs' names?
Bowser and Ganon.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Dallas, that was it. 13 seconds, and you passed round 2.
Hard.
Very, very impressive. That's like almost...
It's hard, man.
Holden took double the amount of time in order to do his round 2. Third round.
See
of
why you
Quiz
can't
Me
normally
Captain.
do this, Holden.
Right? Round 3 is a little bit different. Shorter time, 20 seconds, and it's usually about convincing me of something. If you are successful in your convincing, then you win. If you are not, then you do not win. Holden, are you ready for round 3 of Quiz Me Captain? It's me, Margaret.
I feel like we have to convince you like Red Dead or something like that.
You have 20 seconds. Starting. Now, convince me that Abandoned is created by Kojima.
There's too many coincidences right now, and they have Konami, Sony, and Kojima have not denied it, and it feels like they would have denied it and just said, hey, this is a small indie person, but they haven't done that yet. And that's, I think, says a lot considering how big this story has gotten.
Time's up. I'm not
Konami would
convinced.
launch to protect their IP.
I was derailed by the fact that you made a comment about the indie person size. And you
About the
failed it.
what?
You said small indie person, and you have never met this man in real life. You don't know how tall he is. That was offensive. You fail. But you do still have to complete round 4. Dallas, are you ready for third round? This is your chance to steal the win from Holden. Are you ready for the third round of Quiz Me Captain? It's me, Margaret.
Absolutely.
You have 20 seconds on the clock. Starting now. Convince me that Destiny's great.
We get to play together.
Done. Perfect. Nailed it. God, that was the fastest it's ever been completed. This is wonderful.
Softball.
Dallas is so much better at this
There's
than
one
I
I had to convince him of a crazy conspiracy theory, and you had to make him like a game he already loves.
I don't know what you're trying. Are you spouting conspiracy theories that Dallas is
He's saying this is
weighted?
fixed.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Absolutely. There is a bias here.
Careful. Careful. All right, Holden. We have final round, round 4. You have 30 seconds. You need 4 correct answers. As you know, this round usually has pairs of things. One of the pair is correct. The other one is incorrect. For whatever reason, usually subjective, you have to guess the correct one. Are you ready for the final round of Quiz Me Captain? It's me, Margaret. 30 seconds on the clock, starting now. Samus or Seamus? Let me reset your time. Samus or Seamus?
Samus.
1, yes. Seamus, it's not how you pronounce what it looks like. Red Dead or colonoscopy?
Okay. Colonoscopy.
Incorrect. Red Dead was a lot more fun than that. Did you know that Taco Bell is introducing a pea protein-based fried shell as a meatless alternative to the naked chicken chalupa? Yes or no?
No, I didn't know that.
Correct. You did not know that before today. Mario is missing or a carton of cigarettes? I'm sorry. Time is up. You have lost.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Fucking anyone named Seamus. You need to look at your choices of how you choose to spell your name. Because it is spelled Seamus. If you pronounce that Seamus. Dallas.
Seamus.
Hopefully you'll fare better than Holden.
Hopefully.
Final round, again, 2 options. One of them's correct, one of them's incorrect. Are you ready for final round of Quiz Me Captain? It's me, Margaret.
Ready, Margaret.
All right, you have 30 seconds. You need 4 correct answers starting now. Good or bad?
Good.
Correct. Hate or love?
Love.
Absolutely, 100%. Do you think Spider-Man brought his lunch to school?
Yes.
I think so, too. He wasn't very wealthy. Batman or poverty?
Batman.
This is a lot better than poverty, right? Yeah, absolutely. You got 4
but I
and
think
plenty of time to spend.
poverty might humble you a little bit more than Batman, but we'll go. I'd rather be Batman.
There you go. That's the right answer. That's the right
Although
answer.
his parents died. That sucks.
I feel like this is the first time we've had a perfect score. Like, literally, not only did you get to the very end, but you had a little stumble when I said count backwards from 6 and you said 5. But you nailed every single, and then you got to the final round. Never seen that before. I have never seen that before. It's very wonderful. Congratulations. Your super secret prize is that you get to watch me pretend that this USB-C cable is spaghetti, and then you get to see me eat it like a magic trick. I ate the spaghetti. That's it, everyone, for Game on Game Show. And that, Holden, did you close your eyes?
What?
You did not get the privilege of seeing the super secret prize because you lost that game miserably. Did you not cover your eyes?
I didn't. I guess
Punish
you're
him.
gonna have to. Yeah.
Dallas,
him.
I'll send
What are you gonna do?
I'll
I
send
have
you a
no
picture
idea.
of my chocolate starfish as consolation.
Oh, yes.
That's it for Game on Game Show. That is it for episode 217 of Respawn Aim Fire, the Kick-Ass Irreverent Gaming Podcast, brought to you by Affable Idiots. Thank you, Dallas, for joining us for this delightful little episode. And officially, it did come
Thanks
in
for having me.
at about 30 minutes shorter than our Barf episode. So that's the first time I think that's ever happened. We had a good little Barf discussion. Everyone go listen to that at YouTube or podcast services or wherever the fuck you find us. And play the next Barf game. So just like this month, you don't necessarily have to be a patron in order to play the game along with us. You can go and play, what is the name of the game we're playing? Katana Zero. Go play Katana Zero, and then join us at the end of the month for that discussion. If you would love to become a patron, that is welcome at patreon.com/respawnaimfire. You can go there, pay $1, get some dope wallpapers, vote on what we're going to be playing in August, as that poll will come out in the next week or so. And then you also get to play with us on game nights once a week. So do it! And if you'd like to be on the show, just like Dallas was, you can go to affableidiots.com, sign up to be on the show with the Year of the Guest link. That's all we've got. Dallas, tell everyone your address.
Yes.
Don't do it. 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 Don't do it.
Send me cool stuff.
Yeah, send Dallas cool stuff. Tell you what, you send the stuff to me, and then I'll send it to Dallas. My address is... No, remember last week when I told someone a phone number and then mentioned the social security numbers? Let's do that again this week. Here's my address. 644 San Tomas Expressway, San Jose, 95117. I don't know who that is, but send them some stuff and make sure that it's legal things. Nothing that will get them in trouble. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time.
They won't get in trouble. You'll get in trouble for sending it, though. They won't get in trouble.
You don't know that. Don't put a return address on there. Or do what I do and just say it's like from Spider-Man or Phil Spencer from Xbox. And
Phil Spencer.
They'll get Phil Spencer in trouble.
They can track it back. But you can just deny a package. Like, I don't know where this came from, because you can send anyone a package.
Here's what you do.
Liability.
You send them something that can fit in an envelope, and then you just put stamps all over the envelope and drop it in a mailbox. They don't have fingerprinting technology. They're poor. The USPS is dying. There you go. Total anonymity. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign-off. Listen to this bottle.